Welcome back to GBGuns and our wonderfully different mini-series. In this series, I'm going over firearms that I find different from the rest and wonderful for that. Today we're looking at something you might not have thought is as special as it really is. The Springfield Armory XDe. Coming up next on GBGuns. So everything that I show in this series already has complete tabletop and shooting impression videos on the channel, as well as articles either on AmmoLand, Loadout Room, Tactical Life, Ballistic, or Personal Defense World. So for full depth info, check those out. The XDe, right? Springfield, which for some reason a lot of folks love to hate. No, I don't need comments as to why. I really don't care. I'm here for the guns. The XDe is basically the only viable single stack 9 that's hammer fired DASA. DA as in double action. You can decock it and have that double action first shot. You also, of course, have single action. And this gun gives you the option of carrying cocked and locked 1911 style, so that you're always in single action, yet you still have that double action available in case your round doesn't go off. This happens with old ammunition or ammunition that's been through heat cycles, moisture cycles, things like that. So it's good to have something I like. Now, I'm not an appendix carry guy, but for those who do carry appendix, hammer is far safer. As you're inserting it into the belt, you can hold your thumb on the hammer here, and not only do you have the safety, let's say you've got it decocked, hammer on the thumb on the hammer, and that gun cannot go. Even if there is force, you will feel it in your thumb, so much safer. If you're worried about that being in the way, sticking out and being uncomfortable, Langdon Tactical has their version of the XDe that, as you can see, has a bobbed hammer, which when decocked stays relatively flat. Now, of course, critics will say that the XDe is rather slide heavy, or it looks tall. Well, it's got to be to have room for the hammer. That's just the expense of having a hammer. Does it make the gun unshootable? We'll take a look. In the intro, you might have seen that failure to fire that I had. First of its type. Ejected the round, continued on. Did give it the second strike. When I picked the round back up, it had a good dent on the primer, so I loaded it back into the gun. Tried single action, didn't go off. Pulled again, taking advantage of the double action, and it did go off. So unfortunately that was off camera, but was an excellent example of the advantage of having SADA to give you that second strike capability. You never know. Anyways, to work on the shootability, and I am using the Langdon version here, we've got a ABC zone reduced size piece of steel at 20 yards. Why 20 yards? Well, that's a safe distance for shooting steel, and it gives me a bit of a challenge. I'm going to try doing ready up, double to single, so starting decocked, and see what kind of control pairs I can land with this gun on that steel. Big variable there, of course, is my own shooting ability, my familiarity with this gun, but it should give us some sort of an idea. And if it doesn't give you an idea of how it works with this gun, try doing it with your own gun on your home range. And as you try other guns, try that same thing, and you'll find it's an interesting measure of a gun's shootability. So, got 8 rounds in using the Winchester M117, decocked. Come up and try a controlled pair. First, to get used to the grip angle. Why? Because I shoot a lot of different guns, so my wrist is not as well trained as yours might be shooting the same gun over and over. I'm going to pause for a moment. What you just saw there, round didn't go off. I pulled again, and then it did go off. That's that double action advantage I was talking about. It might be that either the weight of the hammer, because this is a low profile hammer, or any trigger job works done by Langdon on here, is not providing enough ooey for that particular ammo. We'll try again. Interesting, isn't it? I'm gonna try smashing the trigger a little bit more, see if maybe it's an internal hang-up. That worked. And once more. We've got one in the chamber, loaded chamber indicator that pops up on top of the slide. Nice feature. And unfortunately just one round left. Gun does have a little bit of snap or pop to it like you'd expect from something so small. Not terribly. The finger hook on here helps with my large hands to be able to hold on to the gun some. I do still slip off because the gun is so slim. Single stack 9s are just a little bit too small for my preference. So, we've seen some shootability examples. Maybe not always the best. What about accuracy? Let me get a target up at 7 yards and some nozzle match ammunition, and we'll see how it groups. So I've swapped back to the standard Springfield just to make sure we don't have any more trigger issues. Also, since the standard Springfield's a little more readily available and more affordable. Using nozzle match ammunition, some folks have asked why. Well, in the testing that I've done, it's been the most consistent. And my job here is to test the gun. So I need to reduce as many variables as possible. I know this ammunition to be accurate and consistent, which means as long as I do my part, we're gonna actually see how this gun does. Got a small target about 7 yards out there. I'll zoom in for you. And we'll see how well this little single stack 9 does. Now, of course, single stack 9s are common. There are lots of them out there. There aren't many that are hammer fired, single action, double action. Unless you want to go looking for a Walther P5, good luck with that. The XDe is pretty much your choice. So here we are. Pulled that one. It's always the fourth shot for me for some reason. So, grouping 5 shots is a lot harder than 3. That's why I do it. Also, it reduces the variables of 3 shots being fluke good or fluke bad. The XDe 9mm is your option for a single stack DASA gun. Really not much else out there. I appreciate it because they pulled that off and went different. In fact, wonderfully different. Thanks for watching this mini-series. I hope you're enjoying it. If you know of any oddball guns or common, let's say not oddball, different guns that are out there but just aren't getting the attention they deserve, let us know in the comments below and we'll add them to this mini-series. Thanks for watching.